Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the personal size large print NIV in brown genuine leather, buffalo leather from Zondervan. This is 11.5 point font, double column, personal size, large print, easy to carry. Take a look. The brown water buffalo looks a little bit like calf skin or goat skin. I'm not sure if that's a natural grain or if it's pressed, but it looks really elegant. Has a little bit of a texture to it that you can feel with your fingers. Love the size of this Bible. Perimeter stitching, nothing printed on the front. The spine, we have 5 spine hubs with gold stamped art gilt edges for the paper. It's kind of a rose color, I think. So it's not a dark art gilt. It does look good. And then we have heavy duty vinyl liner with edge lining, and then a gold gilt line around the edges. Smythe sewn, of course. I always forget to say that nowadays. Almost everything is Smythe sewn now. So we have 2 ribbons, a brown and a gold. Brown head tailbands. And this thing opens up really well. Easy to hold in the hand. Doesn't try to close on you, except for maybe here in the front. So we have a couple of end sheets and then presentation page, and then we get into our text. 30 GSM paper. Made in China. The paper is decently opaque. The first signature, we have overcast stitching. There's the overcast stitch line right there. Might not show up on camera, but there it is. 11.5 point font is dark. It doesn't appear to be line matched. Some pages do have line matching really well, but not all pages do. So I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. So the text is presented in a double column paragraph setting with about 7 words per line in 11.5 point font. It is a dark font. It's easy to read. Lots of space between the lines and between the words. It never feels crowded. It's easy to read. I like reading from this. Show through is noticeable, especially when in a poetic setting where we see nothing printed there. And then also you'll notice it's more noticeable where the lines don't match. Some lighting is worse than others. I still find it highly readable. A little bit of print variation in the red, but not much. It goes from medium dark to about a medium. Just barely noticeable. And I only noticed because I was looking for it. Under the last verse, we have our footnotes. Section headings are in bold. Across the top, we have book name, chapter and verse, and then the page number. And then here is the footnotes on this page. So they're under the last verse on every page. Every page that has them. My one complaint is the poetic setting. They indent the line that continues the previous line quite a bit. And to me, that makes it look a little bit awkward because we end up having a lot of lines with just one word. That doesn't look good to my eye. I don't think of that as pretty. It does look like poetry, but I would like it a little bit better if it was maybe not quite so indented. Maybe not indented quite so far, about half of that maybe. And maybe break it better places. I'm not sure. Here are letters. Letters are indented, so they stand out from the rest of the text. I like that. That looks really good. Just the poetry doesn't look so good. Paper has no glare under direct light. It's easy enough to turn. A little bit of a rough texture. I don't have any issues turning it. Another issue could be the gutter space, the inner margin. And this is part of edge lining. The spine stays flat, so it doesn't bring that text up a little bit at all, and we end up having the text to bend down into the gutter sometimes. It's not so bad. It just starts and then ends there. So it doesn't go so far that it's a problem, but it's enough to mention. So I don't really lose the text there. And then this is a red letter edition. So there's a red letter. Little bit of about a medium darkness. It could be a little darker, but this is still looks good. And the red is where I see most of the show through. Look, this is not line matched. Old Testament quotes include the references in the footnotes. I like it when they do that. Books start on a new page. So that gives you several pages with a decent amount of note space if you want it. There's red in the book of Revelation, so it goes all the way through. After Revelation, we have the table of weights and measures. This is just a single page, but it has weights, length, capacity of dry measure, and capacity in liquid measure. And then it gives us the biblical unit, the approximate American equivalent, and the approximate metric equivalent. These are also found in the footnotes. We have 4 pages for notes in the back. This is the regular Bible pages, 30 GSM. Then we get into our maps. 8 pages with 7 maps on semi-gloss paper. They're colorful. I like the color in these. And they include routes, battle locations, cities of refuge, elevation, annotations, scripture references, it weighs 1 pound, 13.4.3 ounces. The overall size is 5 and almost 3/4 by a little over 8 3/4, and just a touch over 1 1/4 inches. That's the overall size. I give you the overall size rather than the trim size, because that's the size that you would need if you were purchasing a cover for it. Now, one Bible I like to compare to is the NIV Heritage Bible. Now, this one's Premier Collection. It's going to be in a different price range, but I wanted to show you the size comparison because that's the closest I have to it. And they have about the same footprint, but the Heritage is thicker. And here's how they compare. The Heritage has a higher quality paper and is a single column edition. So we're going to have quite a bit difference in design. Let's see. Let's get to it. There we go. This one is a smaller font. I find them just as easy to read simply because the paper has less show through and this is line matched better. So to me, this is still easy enough to read even compared to that larger font. Here's how they compare. Then let's see. This one is a black letter edition, so we don't have red letter to compare to. I love this edition. That's a good Bible. The NIV Heritage. And my second NIV is also in the Premier Collection. It's the thin line large print. Just to give you some comparisons. Quite a bit larger footprint. And it's a lot thinner. So they're similar in weight. It's similar in design. They're both double column paragraphs, so here's how they compare. So this one, even though it has more words per line, it still has a lot of poetry with a single word because of how far it is indented. So that's how they compare. So that's my quick look at the NIV Personal Size Bible, large print, in the brown buffalo. I like that buffalo leather, water buffalo. That's a good leather. I'm a fan of buffalo leather. I'm not 100% sure of how long the liner would last. It is a heavy duty vinyl, but it is vinyl. I think this would be a good Bible for carry, for everyday carry. It'd be a good Bible for reading and for study. I'll place some links in the notes where you can make a purchase if you're interested. Also, I'll place a link to the article at Bible Buying Guide where you can see more detail about this Bible. Zondervan did supply this Bible in exchange for an honest review. And thanks for watching.